on the edge of a vast forest. The air is crisp and clean. Towering trees stretch into the sky, their whispers carrying secrets of the land. Before you lies an expanse of wilderness, where rivers weave like silver threads and mountains reach for the heavens. This is ancient land, a canvas of rich history, long before the ink of history filled pages, before cities rose and ships set sail. The First Nations people thrived here. They had called this land home for thousands of years, a tapestry of diverse tribes, each with its own language and customs. Those by the ocean fished its bounty, while others roamed the open plains in pursuit of buffalo. In the forests of the West, long wooden houses stood tall, and in the frozen North, communities, each group knew their land intimately. They understood the rhythms of nature, the migration of animals, and the healing properties of plants. This was no barren wilderness. It was a vibrant homeland, filled with life, culture, and deep-rooted community. For millennia, they lived and flourished in harmony, crafting a world rich in tradition. But far across the ocean, change was brewing, an awakening of desire for gold, land, and discovery. When two worlds would finally collide, what fate awaited them? The first Europeans to set foot on this land were not who many might expect. Around the year 1000, Leif Erikson sailed from Greenland, discovering a new territory he named Vinland, believed to be part of modern Newfoundland. Here, the Vikings established a small settlement, later uncovered by archaeologists at Elant's Ox Meadows, revealing remnants of their existence. Yet their stay was brief, marred by conflicts with the indigenous peoples and misunderstandings, leading them to abandon Vinland. For nearly 500 years, Europe turned a blind eye to this land. Its story momentarily paused, but the silence would not last. In 1534, a French explorer named Jacques Cartier set sail, seeking a passage to Asia. Instead, he stumbled upon the Gulf of St. Lawrence, a breathtaking expanse that would forever. Cartier claimed this territory for France, planting a cross as a symbol of ownership. He encountered the indigenous Iroquois, sharing initial curiosity. However, the tone shifted when he forcibly took two sons of an Iroquois chief back to France, igniting a painful returning to Canada twice more. Cartier ventured deeper into the St. Lawrence River, uncovering Quebec and the island of Montreal, which he dubbed Mal Royal. Though he returned to France with rocks he mistook for diamonds, his vivid descriptions of the land, years passed, and in 1608, Samuel de Champlain arrived in Canada with a determination that set him apart. Unlike Cartier, he didn't wish to merely explore. He aimed to establish a lasting presence. In Quebec, he faced daunting winters and scarce resources. Champlain forged alliances with indigenous groups such as the Huron and Algonquin, learning their ways and traveling by canoe through untouched waters. He became known as the father of New France, nurturing the fragile settlement that began as the fur trade blossomed, connecting French settlers with indigenous peoples who were expert hunters. New France slowly flourished. However, tensions simmered as the British eyed the same territory, their interests clashing with those of the competition between the two empires escalated, spilling into conflict on Canadian soil. Wars in Europe bled into this land, dragging indigenous nations into the fray, forcing them to navigate the treachery. In 1759, the fate of Canada shifted dramatically. General James Wolfe led his troops to the cliffs beneath Quebec City, scaling heights thought insurmountable. The French, under General Montcalm, believed the city secure. The ensuing battle lasted a mere 15 minutes, yet those moments forever altered the course of Canadian history. Both generals fell, their legacies entwined with the collapse of New France. Now, under Britain, in the aftermath, something remarkable unfolded. The British could have imposed their will upon the French settlers, yet they chose a different path. In 1774, the Quebec Act allowed the French to retain their language, their religion, their identity, an extraordinary act of tolerance. Canada emerged as a land of duality, home to both French and English peoples, each contributing to a complex national identity. This coexistence, sometimes harmonious, sometimes fraught with tension, became a defining characteristic of the Canadian as the echoes of revolution stirred to the south. In 1776, thousands of loyalists fled the new American landscape for the safety of Canada. They brought with them a strong sense of British identity, reshaping the cultural landscape. The land transformed, becoming more English in certain areas, while retaining its deeply French roots in others. Yet, the original inhabitants, the indigenous nations, were increasingly marginalized, their lands taken, their children separated from their families, forced into by the mid-1800s. The separate British colonies began to realize the need for unity. The threat of powerful American expansion loomed large. Discussions began, long meetings filled with hopes and fears, culminating on July 1st, 1867. The Dominion of Canada was born, a union of diverse peoples navigating their complex identities, bound together by shared dreams and challenges. This was not complete independence from Britain, but a significant Canada stands as a testament to resilience and complexity. Once bound to the British Crown, it has emerged as a nation with its own government, parliament, and laws. At the helm was John A. Macdonald, a Scottish-born politician, a figure of brilliance and contradiction. He played a pivotal role in shaping the nation, yet his policies inflicted deep harm on Indigenous and Chinese communities. Canada's history is a tapestry woven with beauty and pain, where understanding both threads is essential. After Confederation, a vast land stretched from the Atlantic to the unmapped West. British Columbia, on the Pacific coast, agreed to join Canada on one condition: a railway must be built to bridge the East and West. Thus commenced the monumental endeavor of constructing the Canadian Pacific Railway. Thousands of workers, many from China, faced perilous conditions. They blasted through mountains, crossed deep valleys, and laid tracks across an untamed wilderness, paid significantly less than their white counterparts. Many faced death in pursuit of progress. The railway was completed in 1885 with the driving of a small golden spike at Craigelachie, British Columbia. Canada was now linked from coast to coast. Settlers surged westward, towns blossomed, and prairie farms emerged from the vast expanse of grass and sky. Yet, for the Indigenous peoples of the plains, this transformation sparked profound loss. The buffalo, central to their existence for generations, dwindled to near extinction. The land they had roamed freely was now fragmented, claimed by others. A painful chapter of suffering unfolded as the world continued. In 1914, the world plunged into war. Canada, still aligned with Britain, entered the First World War. More than 600,000 Canadians enlisted, with over 60,000 making the ultimate sacrifice. They fought in harrowing battles across Belgium and France, at Ypres and Vimy Ridge. The Battle of Vimy Ridge in 1917 marked a turning point, both on the battlefield and for national identity. For the first time, all 4 Canadian divisions united as one. Their success became a defining moment where Canada shed the last vestiges of colonial dependence. In 1939, the clouds of war gathered again. Canada entered the Second World War, once more sending hundreds of thousands of soldiers, nurses, and workers into service. On D-Day, June 6, 1944, Canadian soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy, showcasing unparalleled bravery. They liberated towns and cities, earning the everlasting gratitude of the Dutch people, who honor Canada yearly through turbulence, loss, and sacrifice. Canada forged its voice. It emerged into the 20th century, embodying quiet confidence and strong values, beginning to understand its true identity. Today, Canada is a vast, cold, and beautiful land, still in the process of becoming. It is recognized worldwide for its politeness, multiculturalism, and welcoming spirit. Millions of immigrants from every corner of the globe have flocked to its shores, each group contributing, yet Canada remains aware of its unfinished journey. The narrative of Indigenous peoples, with lands usurped, languages silenced, and children torn from their families in residential schools, is a scar that demands recognition. The nation is learning to listen, to acknowledge past wrongs, and to strive for reconciliation. This slow, arduous work is Canada imparts a vital lesson. Like a person, a country is never truly complete. It stumbles, it evolves, and it carries its history while aspiring to a brighter future. Perhaps this is the essence of the journey, an invitation to remain curious, open, and engaged in the ongoing narrative. We are all, in our own ways, still becoming, still learning, still listening. This is not a sign of weakness, but rather, as this narrative comes to a close, I hope the chill of the forests and the whispers of the rivers resonate within you. If this journey sparks curiosity, questions, or a passion for learning, share your thoughts. Your journey intertwines with this story, and there are always more